Sometimes I wish I was just a normal girl. Hate it here. Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Alizaya, and I'm your favorite black transsexual. Get up into the big prayer, whatever. I'm back. How y'all doing, girl? You already know this beautiful black transsexual is having to do it big or whatever. Bada bing, bada boom. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm be telling y'all my dating experience as a black trans woman. Let me stop, girl. Let me stop acting dramatic and get a girl. You seen the title, girl. Before we get into today's video, girl, I need you guys to like, comment, and subscribe because you will never find another black transsexual like me. Hello, hello, hello. I'm beautiful. You're beautiful. Get up into the big prayer, whatever. Go ahead and lock in on my soul. So I want to start this video by saying that I am a transgender woman. I feel like a lot of people assume that I'm just a gay man playing dress up. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, that bothers me. I'm a human being and I'm a human being with feelings, and I feel like a lot of people fail to realize that I'm a human being and I have feelings. When I go out in this real world and I go out in the general public, I know that I'm transgender. I accept that I'm transgender. I accept who I was born as. I was born as Isaiah, but I live my life as Alizaya because that's what I was born as. That's who I am meant to be. It's just to be myself. You get what I mean? And I say this a lot. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that it's very hard to be yourself in a society where a lot of people are telling you what to do, how to act, what you need to look like, what you need to sound like, what you need to dress like, what you need to be doing with your life, if you're successful or not. Like, it's just so much going on in this world and a lot of people telling you what to do. And this is why I say you got to be confident enough, you got to be strong enough to walk your own path. I feel like an outcast, and I feel like nobody understands that I am transgender, and a lot of people don't understand that I'm Alizé and I'm going to do what makes me happy at the end of the day. And, you know, a lot of people just don't understand the fact that I love myself. It took me a long time to understand who I am as a human being, and it took me a long time to, you know, get to where I'm at now. I don't let people play with my feelings, and you get what I mean? I am a black, dark-skinned trans woman, and, you know, as a trans woman who is in Texas, I live in San Antonio, Texas, for the ones who are new. I live basically, I would say in the ghettoest like part of Texas because I feel like this is still a conservative city. Like, I feel like it's so many conservative values out here. I'm originally from Waco, Texas or whatever, you know, shout out to Waco, get up into the, you know, ghetto-ness or whatever, bada bing, bada boom. But, you know, I feel like colorism really plays a part into why it's so hard for me to date as a trans woman because, like, you know, a lot of guys who are interested in me aren't as interested because, you know, I'm dark skinned or whatever. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand that. And, you know, guys treat me a certain way based off of, you know, what I present as, if I pass or if I don't pass, if I look feminine, if I don't look feminine. And, you know, this is why I say, you know, if I'm light skinned or if I'm not light skinned. I'm dark skinned. I'm dark. I'm a dark skinned trans woman. You get what I mean? And there was like this one comment that kind of brought back one of my traumas and you know, my you know, childhood. Somebody said that, you know, why are you so dark or whatever, right? And, you know, I saw the comment. I'm not going to sit over here and indulge in negativity. I didn't respond. But old me would have responded and cussed you flat out and just, you know, sat over here and said everything, called you every name in the book, but I ain't got to do all that because, you know, I accept who I was born as. I'm a dark-skinned black trans woman. And a lot of people act like colorism isn't a real thing, but colorism is very real. And if you're not a dark-skinned trans woman, if you're not a dark-skinned woman, if you're not a dark-skinned man, you wouldn't understand what it's like to be in a society where the European beauty standard is pushed more than the African beauty standard. And, you know, I'm gonna show you clips of what colorism really is like.
White trans girls will constantly get on here and be like, we're being murdered. Who is we? The trans women that are getting murdered don't look like you. They look like me. Maybe our struggles be getting co-opted so bad, but nobody wants to co-opt and live our experience. How about you be black? You be black. You be black. The black trans girls get on here and say, please listen to us. Y'all don't listen because y'all say, oh no, being trans is being trans. It's the same experience for everybody. No, it's not. It's simply not. And y'all are going to get mad at me when I say this next part, but the term transgender has encompassed so many identities now that now black trans women feel like we're being spoken over, which is why a lot of black trans women don't even identify as transgender anymore. We say transsexual. I'm not saying that non-binary people aren't valid. I'm not saying none of that. What I am saying though is that black trans women have a very unique set of experiences. We do. As valid as Demi Lovato might be as a non-binary person, her experience is very different from mine. And so when you lump together all these experiences and say they're the same, you're going to have people feeling like they are being spoken over, which is why so many people don't like the term POC, because then black people and native people felt like they were being spoken over. So then we created BIPOC. So you had trans, and then everybody was included in that trans umbrella. So now you have people saying, oh, I'm not trans, baby, I'm transsexual, because we're being spoken over. Like, y'all are erasing our experiences, our very unique set of experiences. Like, I am a trans woman, born a boy, transitioned to a woman. I didn't just add they to my pronouns. Like when I was 15 years old and I first told my mom that I wanted to wear nails and wear hair and present as a woman, that lady reached over and slapped the out of me. Like, I no longer talk to my mom because of all that trauma from when I first came out as trans. So if you don't know what it's like to have so much ingrained homophobia and transphobia in your race that you no longer have a mom that you speak to, you don't know what I've been through, respectfully. That's all I'm saying.
I just said I don't like women with my complexion. I like light-skinned women. I want you to be lighter than me. I love African-American women, but I just don't like my skin complexion.
Okay. Well, I like your skin complexion.
We too gutter. Black people, my complexion, we too gutter. Light-skinned women, they more sensitive, you know?
There's some dark-skinned women out here sensitive.
No, they too tough. Light-skinned women, we can break them down more easy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't like black like this, you know what I'm saying? I like yellow, so that's my preference. So mother you.
I feel like a lot of people dismiss colorism and act like it's not such a big thing, and a lot of people be like, well, trans women are still trans, it shouldn't be, this versus that. I'm not like saying that, how do I say this without being so controversial? I experienced what I experienced, but for another trans woman of a lighter skin complexion, they might get to experience something completely different because, like I say, a lot of people are walking two completely different paths. I feel like a lot of people's lives are easier because when they go in stores, they're not having somebody follow them. They're not having people sitting over here always looking over their shoulder and clutching their purses thinking that, somebody is going to rob them. And, when I don't look the best and I don't look up to par and I'm wearing my bonnet and I look like a ghetto stereotype, there's times where like even my own black peers would sit over here and clutch their purses, sit over here and hold on to their children, acting like I'm, one of those crazy, shade, like acting like I'm just some crazy psychotic person. I'm not a psychotic person. And you get what I mean? I'm a human being with feelings. And it's just little bitty things like that. And back in my childhood, a lot of people would sit over here and say, you're so dark. Every time we cut off the lights, we can't see you. Every time we cut off the lights, the only thing we can see is your teeth and your eyeballs. That's so rude and that's so wrong. And when that person left that comment and said that, why are you so dark? It's like, girl, why do you even have to say that? Why can't you just say, oh, like, it's just like, just itty bitty little things like that. And it doesn't bother me anymore when people sit over here and talk about my skin complexion because I accept that I'm a dark-skinned black trans woman. I accept that I don't have the European beauty standard. I accept that I have a big nose and I have African features. I can't control that. My dating experience as a trans woman, I'm always looked at as a fetish or a fantasy because, most of the times I do pass, and with me passing, I attract straight men, which sometimes I hate it, to be honest, because I don't like straight men. I hate straight men. I would rather date a butch queen or talk to a butch queen because I feel like butch queens are just, well, I love gay men. Like, I don't know. It's just something about gay men. It's just like, it gets my gears going because gay men are very fine and they're very beautiful. And I love beautiful black men. Let me stop. I'm getting off track. But like, it's stuff like that. Like, I feel like an outsider because like, most of the time I'm their first time and I'm their first experience. And a lot of trans women say that some of these guys be lying and saying that, they're your first experience and stuff like that, even though they're lying. You can tell when a guy is lying. You can tell when a guy is being truthful about you being his first experience because when y'all start doing stuff, you can tell he doesn't know what he's doing. And half of the time I don't like a guy who's not experienced in the dating pool, because or experienced with a trans woman, because it's boring. It's like I gotta teach you everything for roots. It's like I'm teaching, a little toddler, like, girl, no, nasty, get it to the ghetto-ness. Let's not give what it's supposed to be gave. And to be honest, I start sitting over here, like, I don't feel like, how do I say this? I feel like, personally, every time I was actually interested in a guy, or a guy was actually interested in me, he 9 times out of 10 didn't even know that I was transgender. And because sometimes I pass and they can't tell, I end up, feeling like, they're gonna ghost me. And when I do tell them that I'm trans, 9 times out of 10 I'm right, and they end up ghosting me. And that makes me start feeling some type of way. And if they don't ghost me, they start fantasizing about my private parts, and they start fantasizing about me being their experiment and stuff like that. I'm not an object. I'm not a social experiment. I'm not an experiment, period. That doesn't even sound right with this black transsexual. And it took me a long time to understand that I don't want that as a trans woman. I don't want to be an experiment. I don't want to be considered as an object. You get what I mean? And to be honest, when I start to sit over here and like a guy, I start to self-sabotage, myself, because, I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like, he's always talking to another girl, or he's talking to a girl that's prettier than me, or a girl that passes more, or a girl who has the surgeries, because I don't have surgeries. I don't, pass, like I keep saying. I'm not on hormones because I'm broke. I'm a broke black transsexual, and I have to be real with you guys so you guys can understand the concept of what I'm talking about and understand the depth of this, video. I'm a broke black transsexual. So the guys who I do attract, I feel like they're expecting that type of transsexual or that type of trans woman who has everything going for themselves. I'm just now building that foundation for myself. I'm just now entering my adulthood. You get what I mean? My womanhood. And, it hurts sometimes because, the way that I look at it, when I was in talking stages with a guy or whatever, right? Before, I was, to sit over here and, really take a guy serious. When I start having a crush on guy, I start basically catching feelings. And when I start catching feelings, I really don't know what feelings feels like. I just start feeling butterflies when I'm around them. And I have really bad anxiety when I'm around a guy that I like really bad anxiety. It's easier for me to talk to one of my sisters, or talk to my manager, or just a random person who I don't like in that type of way. But when I'm around somebody who I actually like and I feel like it's being reciprocated, I get I get very bad anxiety, and I don't know how to communicate, and I start freezing up. And to be honest with you, every time, a guy would take me serious and he would want to talk to me in public, because I feel like I'm more scared to walk around in public than he is, I start sitting over here thinking that we're going to get called gay, we're going to get called slurs, and we're going to get slurs thrown at us. That's why 9 times out of 10, I self-sabotage myself, and I end up, flaking on him. I end up stop talking to him, or I end up just the whole thing with what we got going on just goes left immediately, because I'm just self-sabotaging myself. I know I personally shouldn't think like that. I know personally I shouldn't sit over here and, think that way, but it's hard for me to not think that way because I've never experienced love. I never experienced a relationship. I don't even know what that type of foundation looks like. I've never gotten asked out. I've never been in a relationship. I never got to experience what your average cis woman would ever experience. And it's hard for me to even say that, and it's hard for me to even come to terms with that, because I'm a trans woman. And to be honest with you, that hurts me the most. It hurts me the most that I would never get to experience love. It hurts me the most that I would never get to experience what these cis women or these biological women are experiencing, because I am transgender and most guys would never take me seriously. And it hurts that we live in a society where a lot of guys will be criticized for even dating a trans woman, and criticized for even talking to a trans woman, and they'll always be labeled as gay, when I just feel like, let people just be who they are. I don't sit over here and put labels on guys. You do what you want, girl. Put the label on yourself. I don't care. You get what I mean? What I'm looking for is a guy who's secure in his sexuality. And I feel like in this generation, a lot of guys aren't secure enough in their sexuality, and aren't secure enough in what they like and who they are as a human being and who they are as a man. A lot of these men are walking around as boys because if you're a man, you wouldn't care about what people think about you. And a lot of these guys care about what people think about them. And this is why I'm particularly not interested in, like, you know, the hood boogers, you know, the, you know, pow pow pows. I don't care about those. I don't care about the thugs and all those, like, you know, ghetto, like, I don't like that type of stuff. Like, I hate the real DL trade. And, you know, to be honest with you, I feel like I'm the type of trans woman who doesn't want to sit over here and settle. You get what I mean? Because I've deleted my social, I deleted my social medias, and also deleted my dating apps or whatever, right? Because, like, I want to find real love, and I want to sit over here and, you know, find a real connection, a real genuine bond with somebody. Because on these dating apps, everybody's trying to sit over here and bump purses, and that's ghetto in my eyes. I don't want to sit over here and bump purses. I don't want to sit over here and always do freaky nasty things. I'm not that type of gal. Yes, I get freaky and nasty with the person who I truly like or who I'm truly interested in, but I don't want to just do that with any and every man that comes across me and that's quote unquote interested in me. Because I'm not an object. I'm not an experiment. I know who I am. I'm Alexia. I'm black and I'm trans and I'm beautiful. And I gotta keep repeating this throughout the video because I know who I am. When I see a lot of dolls who have been in DL relationships with the trade or whatever, I always sit over here and compare myself to them sometimes, and I'm like, why haven't I ever been in a relationship with a DL trade? Why haven't I ever gotten to experience that? Maybe it's for the best, because I'm very sensitive, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm very sensitive. I wear my heart on my shoulder, and I wear my feelings on my face. If I feel some type of way, you're gonna know that I feel some type of way, and that's just always how it's been. And I'm sorry for the stuttering, but I'm just trying to get my words out the best that I can, because it's very hard for me to express how I feel nowadays, because I feel like I'm always gonna get judged. But, you know, it hurts sometimes to, you know, never experience that type of love. But I realized I don't want to settle. I don't want to be somebody's secret. Every time a guy would try to do that stuff with me, I immediately shut him down, because I'm not a secret. I'm not going to be your secret. I'm not going to be, you know, a call away at midnight and just sitting over here douching out my insides for you, just for you to sit over here and, you know, go to Sexy Red's favorite place with me for 5 minutes and that's it. I'm not that. I'm not an object, and I'm not somebody's secret. I want to be shown off in public. I want somebody to love me publicly, and that's why I don't take the trade seriously. That's why I don't take DL men seriously. If I'm going to dibble and dabble with the trade, it's simply that. We're going to sit over here and go to Sexy Red's favorite place, and that's it. Get out my house. And I remember it was this one guy, like, you know, a while ago or whatever, right? You know, I was sitting over here dealing with him or whatever, right? And, you know, he came over or whatever, right? He wanted to cuddle and stuff. I felt so uncomfortable because I don't like you like that. You're the trade. Like, why are you trying to cuddle with me? And I feel like that's kind of a trauma response for me, that I don't have the, you know, emotional baggage to sit over here and cuddle with anybody and just talk to anybody and, like, kiss anybody. I don't do kissing. I hate kissing, girl. Unless you're beautiful and black and, you know, I'm actually interested. But getting back on track, he would cuddle with me, and, you know, I started to become very rude, because I'm like, I'm not interested with you. You're in my space. I feel like you're messing with my peace. I feel like you wouldn't talk to me in public. So why are you in my bed talking? Like, why are you in my bed cuddling me? Why are you in my space? So I ended up telling him, like, he got to get out. And, you know, I felt like he felt some type of way. And I felt like, you know, he was actually interested in me, but I wasn't interested with him, because, like I keep saying, I'm nobody's secret. And prior to, like, you know, our link up or whatever, I asked him, have you ever dated anybody publicly? He's like, no. I know I'm pansexual, and I, you know, had, you know, threesomes and stuff, but I wouldn't talk to anybody in public, you know, because I have a child and stuff like that. I wouldn't want my child to, you know, become gay and stuff. I'm like, that's all I gotta hear. You wouldn't take me serious? You gotta go. I ain't got time for it. And so he was like, well, why don't you want me to stay? You know, I could spend the night. When I hear spend the night, I hear bum. I hear somebody who don't got no motion. I hear somebody who just is bum. Like, I hate bums. You get what I mean? And I'm not the type of trans woman to keep attracting bums. I hate bums. You're so crusty and dusty and just nasty. And I know I'm getting so off track, but, like, that's the way that I look at it. I look at a guy who just doesn't love himself enough to sit over here and love somebody publicly and to accept who he is. I look at you as a bum because you don't have no self-love. And I know I shouldn't sit over here and put guys in boxes and sit over here and treat men like that. That's my bad, if you get what I mean. But it kind of hurts to feel like I will never be a normal girl in society, and I will never be a normal human being And that's something that I've had to accept. You get what I mean? I'm always going to be an outsider. I feel like an outsider every time I walk out the house and I'm just living my life as me. I know that I will never get taken seriously. I know I will never get to experience what another, biological woman or cis woman is experiencing because I'm transgender. And I hate to accept that I'm transgender, but I'm a dark-skinned trans woman at that. For my community, and I'm saying this, I'm trying not to be offensive. I'm trying to be nice to everybody, but for my community as a black trans woman, I'm gonna get blunt with it. It's very hard for us to sit over here and not be a stereotype, because I feel like for a lot of my trans women who are black, I feel like because we don't get treated as such, I feel like because the trade doesn't actually want to take us seriously, we end up, having to resort into, the work life or whatever, right? And everybody knows what I'm talking about, girl. I ain't gotta, sit over here and, say what I gotta say or whatever, right? And I feel like because our parents treat us some type of way, and I feel like some of us, get kicked out at an early age, we have to resort to that stuff. And I feel like a lot of guys look at body count, worry about body count, and look at you as a fetish because you are a worker or whatever. They will never take you seriously. And I feel like for me, that's why I never truly wanted to do that type of stuff, which I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about it, but I never really wanted to do that type of stuff because I truly want real love. And I feel like if I was to do that, I feel like nobody would actually take me seriously because I will always be a stigma, aka a stereotype, and I don't want to be a stereotype. I want to break the barrier and show the world what a black trans woman can do, because it's so hard for us black trans women to be seen. It's so hard for us black trans women to be heard. And I feel like I say workers because I don't want to get demonetized, but I feel like workers are really strong. Like the black trans women who are working are very strong because they get to see trade. They get to see the trades who sits over here and who are married and stuff like that. And I feel like that's why a lot of us, and especially me, are traumatized from a lot of men who are married or who are in relationships but will come and see you and sit over here and link with you and tell you all this stuff and then go back to their wives or go back to their girlfriends. I hate that type of stuff. That's why I don't deal with the trade who are in relationships, because I think that's so nasty and I wouldn't want that fraudulent stuff happen to me. That's just the way that I look at my life. You don't have to agree with me. This video isn't for you to agree with me. This is for me to speak my truth. Get up into the big purr. But every single time I tell a guy who is deeply interested in me that I'm transgender, he immediately gets heartbroken and his demeanor changes, and his whole vibe changes, and he always hits me with well, I want a real relationship. I want, kids in the future. I want a woman, a real woman. And it's like that type of stuff hurts me. And that's why sometimes I feel like I'm not woman enough sometimes. And it feels like, sometimes I feel like I have to be peer pressured to fit the stereotype, to get my, mommy milkers done and stuff like that, to get, the surgery just to feel woman enough for a man. But I don't have to do that type of stuff. And I had to learn that the hard way, that I don't have to do that type of stuff, because who is that actually making happy? I'm satisfying somebody else who might not even take me seriously 5 to 10 years from now. So why am I doing that for somebody else's validation? I had to learn that I had to do this for my validation. I had to do this for me because this is my life and I'm walking my own path. You get what I mean? And it hurts because it feels like I'm not a quote unquote real woman in society. And I accept that I'm a trans woman. I know I'm just enough woman for everybody else who is wondering. I'm just enough woman. I'm just a different form of a woman. And I hate that I had to keep expressing this to people, but it's like you got to express to the people who are in the back and who are not educated on you being trans. And I feel like that's what's so wrong with this community now. And I feel like that's what's so wrong with the dating pool in the trans community. Nobody's truly educated on a trans woman. And this is what I have to say for my trans women, or just the trade, or just anybody who's interested in a trans woman. The main thing that I always say is, who cares what people think? I know who I am, and I don't care what nobody thinks about me. If you don't like me, that's fine. You can go eat a bag of bricks. I don't need your validation, and I never needed anybody's validation because I'm validated in myself. And I feel like it's easier for me to say that than somebody else who isn't as confident, or somebody else who is still battling with self-hate issues. I accept that I was born a biological male, but I live my life as a trans woman. I accept myself as a trans woman. I accept all that comes with me as a trans woman. The only thing that I truly hate is I feel like I would never be taken seriously publicly as a trans woman, because every time I publicly interact with guys, they treat me so differently than they'll treat their average cis woman. And I feel like a lot of guys are very afraid of being called gay, very afraid of being, put in a box and, getting those words thrown at them. When I say this a lot, these people are not walking in your shoes, so why do you care? You know who you are. Living your life fully and living your life truly. Who cares what people think about you? These people are sitting over here putting you in boxes. Who cares if they put you in box? You can break that box by you doing what makes you happy. And that's what hurts my feelings the most, is that it's so hard for you to sit over here and, be seen and be heard in this society, because everybody is just so artificial with their ways. Everybody wants money. Me as a trans woman, I don't need money. Like, a lot of my dolls, want the tray to pay for their bills, want the tray to sit over here and pay for their expenses, pay for their surgeries. I don't need nobody to pay for anything, girl. If I had to go sit over here and work that corner, if I had to go sit over here and break my legs up, and if I had to go sit over here and, get my door frame beaten, or had to go sit over here and work a 9-to-5 job for the rest of my life, I would do that to get to where I need to be. I would do that to make sure I get to where I need to be. I know exactly where I'm going to be. I know exactly what I'm going to get. Right now, I know that it's not time for me to be in love and to be in a relationship, because I'm on a journey where I'm having to learn myself. But it's very hard, and I feel like it's very horrible for me as a black trans woman to ever be seen because I am black, because I am dark skinned, because I am not light skinned, and because I don't fit the beauty standard of what's in the trans community and what is deemed as beautiful. I feel like it's very hard for me and my dolls to be seen and to be heard. And that's why I feel like a lot of guys who are interested in trans women wouldn't go for the trans women who are of a darker skin complexion and who don't fit the beauty standard and who don't pass. Why they won't ever take them seriously and always go to dolls who pass and all the extra stuff and who have the privilege to fit the European beauty standard. Why they would like to talk to them publicly and stuff like that. And I don't beat myself up. I just want to live my life for me, and I just want to sit over here and do what makes me happy. But I wanted to make this video because it's been on my mind, and I've been having these thoughts lately, and I hate that sometimes I am a black trans woman, and I hate the times that some people and some guys would never take me seriously. But I don't need to live my life for a guy. Girl, I'm too grown for that. I am 19 years old. You think I'm gonna live my life for a guy? You think I'm gonna live my life for the trade? Girl, you gotta be out your mind, girl. I'm gonna live my life for Alizea, because you want to know who's walking Alizea's path? Alizea is. Everybody has the same 24 hours as Beyonce. So if you're wasting your time not doing what makes you happy, you're wasting your time. You don't know if you're gonna wake up the next morning, so you gotta live your life for you. Do what makes you happy. When I'm saying that everybody has the same 24 hours as Beyonce, I'm not saying that you need to sit over here and have the same talent as Beyonce, have the same resources as Beyonce, because nobody is Beyonce. But you know who Beyonce is? Beyonce is a human being, and she's a human being with feelings, and she is a human being with goals and aspirations. She's going to do exactly what she wants, and she's going to get exactly what she wants, because she does what she wants. And that's the mindset that I have. I do what I want, I get what I want, because I know what I want. I'm Alizea. I'm going to go for any and everything that I want, because I'm going to do what makes me happy at the end of the day. I'm black, I'm trans, and I'm beautiful, and I just wanted to quickly make this video, whatever. I love you guys. Straight Nicki Minaj, get up into the ghetto black transsexualness or whatever, bada bing, bada boom. If you enjoyed this video, follow the journey or whatever. So you already know what to do. Subscribe, girl, because you're never going to find a ghetto black transsexual like this ever again, girl. But bada bing, bada boom, I'm going to talk to you guys later. Let me know what you think in the comments, girl, and I know y'all might drag me for some of the things that I said, but I don't care, girl. Straight Nicki Minaj. Bye, loves.